these are all volunteer, and I think I'm gonna get rid of them. I don't want them in this area to attract any form of worms to these cabbages. Look at the leaves of these cabbages. Not a single bite on them. Over the weekend we have gotten a bit of rain. I hear a lot of people saying that they got a lot of rain, but for me it's just about 3/4 of an inch of rain, which is still good enough in the garden. But now it's our dry time here in Florida, central Florida I should say, and we're going through some drought-like condition. Not really a drought, but we're facing drought-like conditions. So for most part we haven't gotten any rain for like maybe about 3 weeks now, or if we do had any rain, it was like maybe about 1/4 of an inch or less. So as a gardener you have to be watering now here in central Florida, or in Florida on a whole, and you have to be watering maybe once a day. Moreover, if you're planting in ground, the soil here, it drains very fast. It's a sandy soil, so it doesn't hold on to that water as long as a clay-like or a loamy soil would have done. So here, you really have to go in and water. Even for the bugs, we have days that we were in the 90s, and now is early spring or almost spring. We can say it's spring for us here, and we still have to be watering maybe 3 or 4 times a week if you're growing into grow bag, depending on the location. I'm going to take you guys over in the in-ground bed. That is where I'm going to be focusing today. I'm going to be thinning out some amaranth and just explaining to you guys who are planting amaranth or interested in doing amaranth what's best or what worked for me, because what worked for me may not be best for you. So I'm just going to be explaining what works for me on an annual basis with the amaranth over in the garden and that side. And I'm also going to be taking out a few of these things, like these lettuce plants that are bolting. They're going to seed right now. I'm going to be taking out a few of them also. So I'm going to get the rabbits all clean up now and get back to you guys, and we can go over to that side of the garden where I'm going to start thinning out those amaranth. I'm over by the rabbit and bird area. Took a bit more time than I was expecting, but I still got it done. I'm not the one who sort out the backyard on a daily basis. It goes around, so some of the time the kids, they will come out here and they will do their thing, but you know, sometimes you just want things to be done your way. Now I understand when I was growing up and had to take care of the pigs, and then my father would say that certain things wasn't done the correct way, but it's not that it wasn't done the correct way, I just didn't do it his way. And it's the same thing I'm facing now. So the kids will come out, say that they take care of the birds and the rabbits. They're not doing it incorrectly, however they're just not doing it my way, and I still allow them to do it their way. So whenever I get the chance, it will take me a bit more time to get things done. So these are some amaranth, just uprooted them. I'm going to be transplanting those. The ones that I transplanted last week, most of them didn't make it. I did it on a cool day, but then the following 3 or 4 days we were in the 90s and they got burnt back badly. So I'm just going to be harvesting these for the kitchen purpose. These are some very young amaranth that I'm harvesting. The thing with amaranth, if you leave it too thick, they will not come to their full potential, so you need to give them space. I'm not sure of the spacing requirement, but I normally go at least 12 inches apart. And then now those amaranth, they can get to expand. The leaves will get bigger, you'll get more branches and even thicker stems. If you leave them like this, you're just going to be getting these tiny stems, and then they start going seed. So most people prefer the amaranth like this because now you don't have to clean them up, they are very soft. But if you want the amaranth to be giving you more throughout the grow season, you need to space them properly. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going in, thinning out, and these are mature enough for them to be eaten. You don't want to be eating your greens too young. It's just like if you have cows grazing, you don't want them to be grazing on a young pasture, or else that's going to give them some problem. Maybe watery poop, or even get them sick, bloated. So you want to have your greens when they're mature or close to fully mature. Just took a break. The morning is a bit nippy. We're down in the 40s and just wasn't expecting this. I knew it was going to be a cold day, but I think I was out of the mindset for all this cold weather. So it just hit hard now when you think that that cold spell had gone and then something just snapped back at you. So I went inside to get a bit of warmth and I'm back out. I'm going to be doing some amaranth today in some chicken soup. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a cooking video today. I'm really not sure. So I'm just letting you guys know that that's one of my recipes also that I may share with you guys one day. Really want to get back in the kitchen, just don't have the time to be cooking and recording. Takes a lot of time. That's what's holding me back. What I'm gonna do, I was recording but then the camera flipped on me and I didn't realize. I'm just gonna cut out all these amaranth from this garden area, and then I have amaranth growing in different spots in the yard. I'm going to be transplanting those. These are more leggy. I'm just going to be using these in the pot today, and then those other ones that are not so leggy, I'll be transplanting them. But this is the thing, amaranth definitely needs space. So as much as you'll have the seeds and they will pop up and you'll get them in this big cluster and it looks beautiful, if you really want those amaranth to last for months, be producing for months, you need to either thin them out or transplant them and give them a bit of space. Even though I say I go with 12 inches, you can go with as much as 2 feet apart and you'll get more bushier amaranth coming up. But for me, this is good enough. And the thing is, I don't have the space to be going that wide with the amaranth. So keeping them 12 to maybe 16 inches apart is quite good enough for me. These are some quite young amaranth. I'm not going for the smaller ones. I think I'm good now. Whatever is left in this bed, I think I'm going to go ahead and just clean up this bed, uproot everything. Because these amaranth, let me uproot this one and show you guys. When you cut the amaranth like this, it will always grow back. So you don't want to be leaving these in your bed if you don't want any amaranth there. They will always grow back. Amaranth, they're my survival crop. I really see them as one of those survival food. If you're an eater of amaranth, not many cultures eat amaranth, but we in the Caribbean do love amaranth, and a lot of Indians do love amaranth also. I think I'm just gonna clean out this bed now. I have some lettuce in it. I'm gonna be taking them out. These are gonna be very late lettuce. They're not going to do well here in Florida. The time is getting so warm so fast. So these lettuce, maybe they don't do well. We have a small bed area around there in a shady area. I think I can try them around there. My wife is trying out some gardening on her own in 2 raised beds. So I'm going to put these in some water and leave them for her to do her little project. And for lettuces, I have a lot of lettuce in those bags over there. I'm going to take you guys over and show you them as soon as I'm done here. So I'm just going to uproot everything. Once you leave these amaranths in ground, they're just going to grow back. And I want to get this bed organized and get a few productive amaranth from it also. And just to increase the standard of the amaranth, when you give them more space, you start getting bigger leaves also. If you keep them clustered, over time the amaranths are just going to be tiny, and no matter what you do, you're just going to be producing some tiny leaves and tiny stems also. So you really want to keep that genetic going by giving these things space, allowing them to grow and expand as much as possible. Once you keep them clustered, over time you're just going to start getting small tiny amaranth, and that's not what you want in the garden unless you don't have enough space. But once you have a bit of space, you just give them the space to grow. I'm just gonna level this bed out now, and then I'll just take you guys over to the next side with me and we can get those amaranth suckers, or amaranth seedling as you guys would say. We just call them sucker back in Jamaica. This is the bed, all leveled. I got out most things. That's a pepper plant right there. I'm not sure what kind of pepper that is, but I'm gonna leave it. And I have a cow tongue callaloo here. I'm gonna leave that one because they hardly come up in the garden, so whenever I get them, just let them stay. Over in this bed we have a few amaranth, but I can leave those. And here we have a cluster down here. I think I could take out a few. Right, I'm gonna leave these and we walk over to that next bed on the other side. Here we have the callaloo, or the amaranth as you guys know it. I'm gonna be putting them very deep because these are some bigger amaranth. They're still, some of them are leggy, but not as leggy as the first set. Realize this one is thicker. I'm gonna be dropping them in quite deep. You don't plant them deep. Most of the time when you have a lot of wind, you'll find out that they'll fall over. So you want to have them maybe about 4 inches, 6 inches deep, so that they can develop fast. Right here, see where I'm going with this one. And there's no science to this, guys. Just simple. Get the seedling, dig a hole, and you put them in. Water them and ensure that they get enough nutrient. Whatever fertilizer you're using, any fertilizer of your choice is good. I'm using rabbit manure. Now we only have 8 amaranth in this bed, and that is totally good enough for this bed. Over in these beds that I put the pak choy the other day, amaranth are taking over. I'll have to get rid of these amaranth or else they're going to overshadow everything and we won't have enough sunlight for these pak choy. So I put these pak choy in last week and this is what they're looking like already. They grow really fast, guys. And over in the grow bag area, I'm still pushing a few amaranth on this side. So like right here, this is an amaranth plant. Lettuce, guys, they're coming up a whole lot in the garden. This is a volunteer amaranth. I'm going to leave this one because I just uprooted a lettuce that had gone to seed, bolted on me right here. So I leave that amaranth there. Here we have a next amaranth. Whenever you see the amaranths, they are young like this and they start to seed, just go ahead and clip that seed from out the center of the plant and allow that plant to regrow. It won't kill the plant, it will regrow, and most time it will come back even stronger. So I'm just leaving things like this and let them be. So I have a ton of lettuce. That's why I went ahead and I uprooted those lettuce over on the other side. Amaranths in this bag here. These are all volunteer, and I think I'm gonna get rid of them. I don't want them in this area to attract any form of worms to these cabbages. Look at the leaves of these cabbages. Not a single bite on them. Not saying it is right for them not to have any bite on them, but I'm just showing you guys how they're looking. This one down here, let me take you and show you. I have a bite hole in it. This one right here. There you have something. Went ahead and got to this, but for most part, these are all beautiful cabbages. So this definitely is going to be a short video. Very cool morning. I want to get out of it. My finger heads are a bit numb. Just want to get inside now. I'm going to be preparing some amaranth in some maybe chicken soup. I'm not sure as yet. I'm just going to look what I have inside, and maybe I can share a few pictures of that at the end of this video also. So that's going to be it from Country Morrow. God bless you all. See you in the next one. Happy gardening. Cheers.